Hi, today I'm going to read 4 or 5 chapters of a series of unfortunate events for Austere Academy by Lemony Snicket. Um, so, uh, I want you to listen. If you were going to get a gold medal to the least delightful person on earth, you would have to give that medal to a person named Carmelita Spat. And if you didn't give it to her, Carmelita Dispatch is the sort of person who would snatch it from your hands anyway. Carmelita Dispatch was rude, she was violent, and she was filthy. And it was really a shame that I must describe her to you, because there are enough gases and this things in the story. But even mentioning such a pleasant person, it is for better orphans, thank goodness, who are the heroes of the story, not dreadful Carmelita Dispatch. And if you wanted to give it to go married to Violet, plus and Sunny Violet, it would be a survival in the face of adversity. Okay, just pausing. I'm gonna read one chapter because I will read slow. Adversity is a word which here means trouble, and there are very few people in this world who have the sort of trouble and adversity that follows these children wherever we go. Their trouble began one day when they were relaxing at the beach and received the distressing news that their parents had been killed in a terrible fire, and so were sent to live with a distant relative named Count Olaf. And if you were going to give him a gold medal to Count Olaf, you would have to walk out somewhere before a warden ceremony, because Count Olaf was such a greedy and evil man that he would try to steal it beforehand. But Butterware orphans did not have a gold medal, but they had enormous fortune that their parents had left them. And it was that fortune Count Olaf tried to snatch, but Felicia one survived with Count Olaf just barely. And since then Olaf had followed them everywhere, usually accompanied by one or more of his sinister and ugly associates. No matter who was caring for the brothers, Count Olaf was always right behind them, performing such a disastrous deeds that I could scarcely whisper. Uh, Kidnapping, murder, nasty phone calls, disguises, poison, hypnosis, and treason. Cookies are just some of the experts who were orphans survived at his hands. Even worse, Count Wolf had a bad habit of avoiding capture, so he was always sure to turn up again. It is truly awful that this keeps happening, but that is how the story goes. I only tell you that the story goes this way because you are about to become acquainted with rude, violent, filthy Carmelita Spats, and if you can't stand reading about her, you had best put this book down and read something else, because it only gets worse from here. Before too long, Violet, Klaus, and Sunny Butterwear will have too much aversion that being shoved aside Carmelita's bats look like a trip to get ice cream. Sorry. Here comes Carmelita's bats. Get out of my way, you cakes never! Said a rude, Violet, and filthy little girl, shoving her Butterwear orphans aside as she dashed by. Violet, Klaus, and Sailor T started to answer. They were standing on a sidewalk made of bricks, which must have been very old because that was a great deal of dark moss oozing out from them, but she was surrounded the Hello, soldier had never been far before. There were hundreds of children running in various directions. Occasionally, someone would slip and fall to the ground, going back to keep running. It was exhausting and pointless to two things. Should be avoided all the cost, but the run around orphans very glad that were over children, keeping their eyes on the mossy brick below them. Kindness is seriously, but because like quicksand, it could strike people at any time, and also like quicksand, usually makes victims sit down. I have to go because I'm about to eat dinner. So I'll read chapter 13 to you when I get back, because chapter 14 comes up with the part when the Quagmires get kidnapped. I know I shouldn't tell. Bye-bye!